Hi, we're Sales Tax and More. Today, we will be discussing what you should and should not do when conducting sales tax research. When it comes to taxability, each state has its own rules as to what's taxable and what's not. It is very complex and can be very confusing. Research can be outsourced to a firm like our own, or you can choose to conduct your own research on taxability. If you decide to do your own research, here are some things you should consider throughout the process. When doing your research, do not stretch your findings to fit what you want them to say. When you're doing research, it is likely there will be gray areas. However, if you get audited, the state's going to take an adverse position on these topics. Because of this, when creating a sales tax plan, you want to take a conservative approach to protect your future self. Next, be wary of calling the state directly for information. When you call the state over the phone, you can get several different answers to your question depending on who answers your line. Many states even put a disclaimer on their hold system that verbal guidance is not binding upon the state. If you do call a state, you should ask if there are any publications or statutes that they can steer you to that will support what they're saying. Next, you should not assume that your competition is always doing it right. If you follow in the footsteps of your competitor and they are incorrect, you will be incorrect too. If this happens and you get audited, the state will not accept this similarity as a defense. Two wrongs do not make a right. You should also not strictly rely on articles to prepare your sales tax plan. You never know who wrote the article, if things have changed since the article was written, or if the person who wrote the article understood what was going on. Articles can alert you to an issue, but you will need a more authoritative source to base your tax plan on a going forward basis. This is also true for frequently asked questions pages and charts. Do be sure to read any underlying citations in the charts and use those to your advantage. Finally, do not blindly trust your accountant. There are many accountants who claim to understand sales tax, but because of economic nexus, they are often incorrect. Ask your accountant how they're staying on top of all of the changes and what they are doing to ensure your compliance. To sum it up, here is a condensed list of what you should or should not do when conducting your sales tax research. Don't try to stretch what the state says to fit. Don't call a state and accept verbal guidance. Don't assume the competition is always doing it right. Don't rely on an article. Don't rely on a chart for final answers. Don't use a FAQ page as the sole source. Don't blindly trust your accountant. Do ask the state where to find documentation. Do read the underlying citations on a chart. And last, do ask your accountant how they keep current. Thanks for watching.